Okay. So, ready na siya. And for those who wanted to open their camera, please, you are allowed to open your camera naman. No, para naman makita ko kayo, no, at the same time. Actually having my second screen here, so that I can see you also. So on my side, so I also have my other screen here. Okay, sige. So let me share my screen so that we can start discussing. By the way, I would like to inform everyone that by the time I will be sharing my screen, if you cannot see my screen or my screen is not visible at your end, please unmute yourself, no, and then please tell me to do so. Okay, to check me for me to check. And then if you have questions, naman, please you can raise your hand. We actually have our a raise hand button, no, sa baba. So please use that and then unmute yourself and then you talk. Okay? Or siguro kung nahiya kayong mag-unmute ng microphone, you can actually use or utilize our chat box, no? Here sa Gmeet. No? Is that okay? Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I will now share my screen. Okay, how about that? Is that clear? Can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
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 Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Okay. So, by the way, once again, good morning, everyone. We'll be discussing Module 2, the teaching profession, lesson 1. So, we actually, this particular module, the teaching profession, meron siyang dalawang lesson parts. Of course, we will be discussing first lesson 1. And at the end of this particular lesson, I will be giving you activity. No? But then again, the activity, we will not do it virtually. I will just post it naman sa Google Classroom natin. And of course, you have to submit it. Okay. So for lesson 1, this is teaching as a profession. Okay, so here are the learning outcomes for this lesson. First, you have to explain or you are to explain the meaning of teaching as a profession. So at the end of this discussion, perhaps you could actually explain the meaning of teaching as a profession. And the second one, we have to trace the historical development of teaching as a profession in the Philippines. Okay? And then according to here, without hard work and discipline, it is difficult to be a top professional. Okay? It doesn't mean actually when we say top professional, it doesn't mean that we have to be rank 1. No, we have to be top 1. No. Ang ibig sabihin ang ibig sabihin ng top professional is that you exhibit the highest quality standards of being a professional person or professional in your field of specialization. Okay? Again, without hard work and discipline. Okay? Hard work and discipline, everyone. So we have to take note of that. Okay? Is that clear? Claro ba? Claro sa
Yes,
lahat?
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So any thoughts, in a way, if you have your thoughts while I am discussing, if meron kayong mga naiisip, no, you just have to type it naman sa chat box. I can read it naman. Okay. So what shall I talk about? So we'll be talking about again, of course, teaching as a profession for lesson 1. Okay. But before that, I would like you to see this video. Now, this particular video is actually a Metro Bank na search for outstanding teachers. Are you familiar with that search? Are you familiar with that with that awarding body, the Metro Bank?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Para
No, sir.
Not familiar, sir.
But also, siguro yung Metro Bank na alam, as for myself, siguro, ang alam ko lang na Metro Bank siguro ay yung bangko, no? If you have your Metro Bank there in Palawan, so it's actually a bank, no? But then again, I was so surprised during the time that I heard that awarding body na meron palang tinatawag na Metro Bank, a search for outstanding teacher, no? And that is this is actually nice because that particular awarding body is a national awarding body, no? And then napakasikat ng outstanding search for this particular matter. Okay. So before that, let's watch a video muna. Okay, sandali lang ha.
My job is to make college easier because students have a lot on their
Please tell me if please tell me if the audio is audible. How about that? Can you hear the audio, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ang favorite teacher ko si Teacher Jean kasi matapang siya.
Mrs. Testa, she's a math teacher because we're both good at math.
My favorite teacher is Miss Grace because she's our advisor and she's nice to us and she helps us learn.
All of us have an experience of having had one special teacher that have made a difference in our lives. People who
By the way, she's a chairperson way back, no? So iba na yung chairperson ng Commission on Higher Education ngayon.
saw the possibilities in me and encouraged this and helped me grow to what I am today.
Teachers are the fiber of society, no? Without teachers, you won't have any other profession after.
What inspires me to do these things? Kasi dati rin akong bata, lahat tayo bata. At ang isang bata, ang gusto lang niya ay magsaya. Wala pa sa kanya yung konsepto na parang, kailangan ko talaga mag-aral. Ang nag-inspirasyon sa akin dahil ako nung kabataan ko, medyo malungkot din ako noon. This time gusto ko yung teacher, pag naandyan sa unahan, pagtingin niya pala may impact na siya, papasok ako kasi andyan yung teacher.
Nung una ko makakita ng blind, yung ako'y nasa college pa, nag-practice teaching ako sa PNU, nagkaroon ako ng passion paano magturo ng blind. So, nung nagkaroon ng opportunity ng nangangailangan sila ng mga scholars teaching the blind, nag-volunteer ako, I took the exam, I was interviewed. Unfortunately, nakuha akong scholar at simula noon, 38 years na akong special education teacher.
I started in special ed and then went on to reading education because I wanted to understand why some children or some people couldn't learn how to read. A lot of children in the Philippines weren't learning to read because they weren't reading in the language that they knew. This was preventing the development of reading comprehension. And you ask any grade school teacher, reading comprehension is the problem.
I came from a small town, in fact, because I started teaching in a missionary school in our hometown, where 90% of the students come from poor families. And then because I wanted to improve myself also, because I believe that you cannot give what you do not have, I opted to go back to teach high school students in Iloilo. I never realized the impact of what I had been doing in that school will create ripples not only in the country but even at the international level.
In 1984, Mr. T decided to launch the search for outstanding teachers. The whole idea was to recognize a key pillar in our society, who are the teachers. If we recognize the teachers, if we incentivize the teachers, if we motivate them to do what they should be doing best in the classroom and in the community, then we have attracted them to do something to improve the whole system.
Ako very thankful na binigyan ng pagkakataon na parang ako isang representation ng maliit na eskwelahan na sabi ko hindi lang pala yung mga universidad ang may kapasidad. Sa pagkakapanalo na yon, parang binigyan niya ng bagong mukha na kahit ikaw ay maliit o malaki, hindi sinusukat. Basta ginampanan mo yung trabaho mo, ginawa mo yung tungkulin mo bilang isang guro, panalo ka.
Marami po ako mga parangal na tinanggap. Pagbalik ko po sa paaralan, nakita niyo po na pagkalaki-laking banner na kinocongratulate ako. Ang awarding din po ng school share ay ibinigay din po sa school. Sa Senado, nagpunta kami ilang interview po sa mga radyo. Higit po sa lahat, ako'y nakarating po ng Amerika. Natingnan ko po doon ang mga ng special education sa 9 states dahil po yan sa pagkakapanalo ko sa Metro Bank.
I won in 1997. In 1998, I received the TOIM Award for secondary education. In 2002, I received my first international award. In 2004, I think I received 3 international awards. It's all because of the Metro Bank search that has opened doors.
The one thing that this search gave me is a huge dose of humility. You meet teachers working in mountains, in fishing communities, who have no resources, and yet they manage to do what they're supposed to do and go beyond that.
Metrobank Foundation's focus on education and teachers, outstanding teachers, is will be recognized as one of the most important private initiatives.
And recognize does that. It says teachers are important, not just big businessmen or entrepreneurs. They're important too. But the teacher in the classroom is very important and they have such a major contribution to the country.
Para yung Nobel Peace Prize or Pulitzer ng pagtuturo. Yan yun. Sa Pilipinas, yan yun.
Being world-class is passion and commitment to our profession. Being world-class is giving our best. It's simply giving our best. And for us teachers, being inside the classroom. But most of all, being world-class starts within ourselves.
I'd like to invite all of the teachers to be interested, look at our criteria. You are there and we want to discover you, but you have to help us. We need to come forward and look at our very simplified rules of application and get yourself nominated. To the principals, to the regional directors, to the presidents of colleges, together with Metrobank Foundation, let's bring them up and give them the honor that they truly deserve.
Trees of green and roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. skies of blue and clouds of war, the breathless day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Okay. Are you still there, everyone?
Yes,
Wala ba
sir.
Yes,
tayong
sir.
Yes,
narinig?
sir.
Yes, sir.
So anybody, no, anybody from the class who can
Sir.
actually say something about the video? Anybody from the class who could actually say something about the video? Yes, Mark. Mark Wilson.
Um, Sir, from the video that I watched, um, the video is all about the outstanding teachers that um, in the video it included the outstanding performance that they show in a media, especially to the students. Uh, uh, Makikita din natin doon yung mga feedbacks ng mga estudyante na teachers are more important today. So they learn more than they that they grow up. So as they after as the children growing up, uh, they learn more about their teacher. So nakukuha yun nila lahat sa kanilang guro. At mismong guro na rin na bumotivate sa kanila. Teacher are made their major contribution. They have commitment. The commitment is to teach, and you have a goal, and it is that um, yung goal nila is para matuto yung kanilang mga estudyante. Ganun.
Yeah, no, and that is true. I would actually agree with Mark Wilson, no? And of course, dito natin makikita that really teachers, if we're going to look at, I think being a teacher, if we're going to look at, no, if you're going to look at or observe and heard a specific as to a teacher na nandun sa video, sabi niya, as long as you do whatever you do, for the students, panalo ka na. Okay? I think that's the very reason why teachers are considered to be the teaching profession is considered to be the noblest profession of all, no? Parang ito yung pinaka sa mga pinaka na profession, kumbaga. Okay? And this is the time, the Metro Bank Foundation, this is now the time that we got to see teachers who really strive hard to educate really our young people, no? Because ito talaga yung parang nakita ng mga teachers that our students, no, the young people here, they are really the pag-asa ng bayan, no, according to Jose Rizal. And that is still true up until now, no, because our young ones, no, our youth, they are actually the nation builders, no. They are nation builders. They could actually contribute to the progress and development of the country. And for you, since although you are still in first year, nagkakasimula niyo pa lang, but now you can actually contribute, no, and you can actually shape the future. You have the chance to shape the future of our youth, no, the nation builders of the Philippines. Okay, so thank you so much for that idea, Mark Wilson. Okay, so let's proceed to this very short activity. Okay. So let's have to read everything. No, meron tayong mga linyahan diyan. And let's try to look at, no, let's try to observe a particular term. Okay? So one night, cell phones were stolen right there from your home while you were asleep. There was no indication of forced entry, so you claimed that the manner by which your cell phone was stolen was highly professional. Okay? No, yung mga magnanakaw, no, na parang ano sila, para silang mga ninja, kumbaga, na hindi mo alam, no, natutulog ka, hindi mo alam na meron na palang tao nakapasok sa bahay ninyo, and then they got they stole your things, no? For example, for this particular example, cell phone. And that is why we can say that stolen your cell phone actually was highly professional when it comes to action. Okay. The other one, tells floor tile setter whom he asked to work on a newly constructed bathroom. Gusto ko yung gawang professional, malinis at maganda. Okay? So please try to think of the term professional here. Okay. So ang ibig sabihin naman dito sa una, ang ibig sabihin ng professional dito ay napakaganda ginawa, no? Although negative ito, no, kasi nga ninakaw. Ang ganda ng pagkanakaw, very professional, kumbaga. Ito rin, sa second sentence naman natin, no, yung gawa daw ay pang-professional, no? At binigyan pa ito ng diin na when we say professional daw, no, para malinis at maganda. Okay? Very positive, no, on this side. Another thing, she is highly professional in her ways. She deals with everyone, including her daughter, employee, professional. Okay, because according to this particular example here, yung yung daughter niya o yung anak niya ay empleyado siguro sa kanyang firm, kumpanya or whatsoever. Okay. But then again, she deals it with proper manner, no? She deals it professionally. Okay. Next, how unprofessional of her to act that way. Teacher pa naman din. Okay? Actually, usual natin tong naririnig at saka usual natin tong nababasa ngayon sa TikTok, no? Kasi nga yung kasagsagan ng pag-boom ng TikTok, marami ding mga guro ang nagtangkang parang gawin din kung ano yung dapat nasa TikTok, no? So kung ano yung mga trend na content ng TikTok, hindi yung ginagawa ng mga teacher. So yung iba sumasayaw ng ganyan, blah 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 and so on. And then ang daming nagko-komento ang daming nag-comment na you are a teacher ka pa naman din, bakit ginawa mo yan and so on. Okay? So tingnan natin kung ano ba talagang ibig sabihin ng nakapulang word na ito. Okay, I think we have the last set, no? Medical doctors, lawyers, education consultants are entitled to professional fees for expert services rendered. Okay. So kung titingnan naman tong word na professional na ito, iba na naman ang ibig sabihin nito, no? It talks about you have to give off, no? You have to give something to a particular medical doctor, to a lawyer, or to education consultant based on service rendered, no, by those people. Okay. The other one, after his oath taking as a professional teacher, he was congratulated and was told, "Now you are truly a professional." Okay. Okay? Nakuha ba yung mga samples natin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. So this is not a question, no? What does the word professional mean as used in the instances given? So we actually have 6 sets of examples or instances. And then yung term na professional or yung tinatawag natin unprofessional or professional, ginamit sa iba't ibang konteksto. So ano daw yung ibig sabihin ng professional? No, used in the instances given. Anybody from the class? Anybody from the class? Wag mahiyang magsagot, no? Wala namang parang mali dito, no? Hindi naman kakainin yung mali yung isasagot. Anybody? You just have to unmute yourself or perhaps you have to You just have to click the raise button, or the raise button, please. Anybody from the class? Okay, can we have again Mark Wilson? Yes, Mark Wilson.
Sir, can I request po? Ano request po,
Yes,
sir?
dear.
Pwede po Taglish, sir. Taglish
Ah?
po. Pwede po
Ay,
Tagalog,
yes.
English.
Ay, walang problema. Ay,
Okay po.
everyone, ha? Anyway, hindi kayo obliged or hindi naman siguro compulsory to really speak in English. So please do not be pressured naman. Okay. You can use Taglish or you can have your Tagalog or whatever. Okay, go. Yes, Mark
Um,
Wilson.
so my opinion, as the word professional used in the instances given. So ginamit po siya, sir, sa like act like professional, unprofessional. So may positive and negative po na binigay as described na professional yung tao. So yung para sa akin yung professional, nag hindi lang siya nagpo-point out doon sa positive way. Maaring ginagamit 'yon as describe a person and describe sa ginawa niya.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
Act like professional is something like um uh describe lang siya, sir, and yung iba something new na dinidescribe isang tao. Like, act like a professional. Yung iba naman is literal, may iba namang logic. So, yun, sir, yung pagkakaintindi ko, sir, about that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mark Wilson. So actually, Mark Wilson talk about professional as an action or based on the action of a particular person or based on the person itself. So describing as an adjective to the person or based on an action of a particular person. So professional daw, yun daw yung parang ibig sabihin ng professional. Anybody from the class? Anybody from the class? Yes, Joanna, Fatima. You are acknowledged.
Good day, sir. For me, professional means is a person who should possess decency and kunwari, sir, for example, that there are two way on how to describe professional. For the first term, sir, professional, it should be work with neat or professionalism. Dapat malinis or klaro, clear yung pagkakagawa niya ng work. And with decency or should appropriate to other person. And for the other time na or instances na binigay kanina for the thief, yung pagnanakaw, ginamit yung professional as parang malinis na pagkakagawa like what other professional workers do. Malinis yung like for example, the workers from the office, they work na malinis. Dapat every word that they should put on that record dapat klaro. Like what the thief did sa pagnanakaw, malinis yung pagkakagawa niya. Yan
Yeah.
lang, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, no? Parang ang awkward talaga sabihin na malinis sa pagkakagawa ng thief, no? But that is true, no? If we're going to look at, that is true, Joanna, no? But if we're going to look at really professional, it talks about yung na-mention ni Joanna, na I would like to reiterate, yung tinatawag natin na decency, no? Dapat daw yung ang term na professional talks about decency. It talks about na malinis at saka maganda ang pagkakagawa. Okay? If we're going to look at that, parang perfect, no? No, parang perfect yung parang describe natin most likely. But then again, if we're going to look at the term professional, ang bigat, no? Ay, mas ang professional niya, pero yung ugali, something like that. Okay? So meaning to say, if we're going to look at the term professional, professional really has a positive output or positive aura, hindi naman siya aura, no? But positive na description, kumbaga. It is a positive adjective, kumbaga. Okay? So what is really now professional? Thank you so much. A professional is one who conforms to the technical or ethical standards of a profession. So dito na yung masasabi natin na sa idea pa lang ni Mark Wilson, ang sabi niya yung professional daw parang parang yung tao, yung professional or parang sagawa, somewhat like that. Okay. Dito natin magagamit din yung sinabi ni Joanna that when we say professional daw, it talks about decency because a professional should conform to ethical standards. Ang ibig sabihin ng conform, children, ay hindi siya wrong spelling sa confirm ha. When we say conform, meaning to say you are abiding, no, abiding to technicalities, you are abiding to ethical standards of being a profession. No? Sa iba't ibang profesyon, no, for example, being a doctor, being a teacher, being an engineer, for example, meron pa idea dito si Princess, no? According to Princess, I think to become professional, you have to work for it. You have to learn the things in a good way. Yes, you cannot become a professional in just a day. It's a long process. Yes, correct, my dear. It's a long process because dito nga natin masasabi, no? Bakit nasabi ni Princess na it's a long process? Because we have to conform to technicalities, no? Yung pagtuturo, itong ginagawa ko ngayon, hindi ko to ginawa right after kong pinanganak, di ba? Right after kung nag-elementary, nagtuturo ako, hindi naman, di ba? Right after kahit siguro ako ay first honor ng high school, hindi naman siguro ako makakapagturo, for example, sa inyo, di ba? Kahit magiging summa cum laude man ako during ng college years ko, hindi naman talaga ako makapagturo agad, no? Because you really wanted the term technicalities. You have to be professional according to Princess. You have to be professional in a very, very long process, no? Because of the term technical, no? And then of course, when it comes to actions naman, no, when it comes to actions, we have to conform our actions to what we call ethical standards, no? Sasabihin na, ay ano ba yan? Guro nga, pero ang pangit naman ng attitude, no? Ay, itong gurong ito, di ba? Pag meron tayong nakikitang mga videos related to teachers, like for example, ako parang lately lang, ng isang araw lang, parang nakapanood ako ng video sa TikTok. Yung video na yun ay ganitong setup na nag-online si teacher. No? Parang ang subject nila ay science. No? Nagtuturo si teacher, parang minumura niya yung mga estudyante kasi nga parang hindi daw sumasagot, hindi daw umiimik, something like that. Na nagmumura si teacher. And then ang daming comments doon sa TikTok na sinasabi na why you are doing that, na teacher ka pa naman, and so on. So it's very bad, no? Because once again, we really have to conform as a professional, no, as a professional, we have to conform to ethical standards of being a teacher or being a doctor, no? Sa mga doctors naman, are you familiar or nakarinig na ba kayo sa linya ng mga doctor na yung parang yung sakit ng isang pasyente ay hindi pwedeng pagsasabihin ng pasyente na ayaw niyang i-share ito kahit sa kanyang kahit sa kanyang pamilya, ay di ba walang magagawa yung doktor, no? That is actually part of their ethical standards not to disclose the medical condition of the patient, no? So yun siya. That is actually part of the ethical standards. Okay. Klaro ba? Klaro naman?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Claro. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next. Yeah. Okay. Next we have here, if that is our first statement, di ba? Ang sabi dyan, we have to conform to technicalities and ethical standards. Therefore, then, there are two elements of a profession. There are two elements of a profession. The first one is competence. No? If we're going to look at the term competence, we're actually talking about technicalities. Correct? Correct ba? If we are talking about competence, we're talking about technicalities. Tama? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Ano ba? Masyado bang,
Yes,
ano
sir.
ba? Do I talk fast?
No, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry because I tend to talk fast naman by the time I am talking na. Okay. Anyway, again, when we say competence, we're actually talking about technicalities. Now, conforming to ethical standards, we are actually talking about the code of ethics, no? Because for our field, no, since you will be future teachers, sana naman walang mag-shift dito sa ibang kurso, no? Pwedeng mag-shift ng major, pero sana naman kung kayong nag-enroll sa education, sana you will stay sa education. Hopefully, no? So in a way, during the course of this discussion during the course of this subject no, for the rest of the semester. I will try to convince you um, on staying here sa teaching profession because this profession is somewhat na hindi naman siguro if you are to really wanted to be rich, no, this is not the right profession, technically speaking, no? And honestly speaking, na kung gusto niyo yung yumaman dyan, sa mga gustong yumaman, this profession is not for you, no? Kasi ang profession na ito is not all about richness. It's not actually about money, no? When it comes to teaching, no, specific ito sa teaching, we are more on commitment. That is why some of the teachers or most of the teachers really yung tinatawag nilang profession, itong profession, sabi nila calling daw ito, no? This is their calling, no? Kasi nga parang if it is a calling, therefore that could actually entails commitment, no? Parang hindi apart from the sweldo kasi nga 'di ba parang ang liit lang ng sweldo ng teacher. Okay, no, I would like to inform everyone. But then again, it's more on fulfillment. Imagine you are molding the future of the students, no? Like for this instance, although you are not yet a professional, but I am your teacher, so it is fulfilling to me by the time I will share something from you. To you, sorry. Okay? Fulfilling siya. Although hindi gaanong kalakihan yung sweldo namin, at saka ang dami pang kailangan gawin. But then again, the fulfillment, yun yung parang reward namin, kumbaga. Okay? At reward din ninyo, no, in the future. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So dito tayo sa teaching profession. And I love it because as I saw it, no, so nakita ko kasing listahan by the time nag-send yung admin, no, coming from your place, nakita ko doon na ang maraming lalaki. I love it, no? Lalaki, I mean to say, it's a broad spectrum of the term lalaki, ha? In a way. But then again, I love it because ang daming lalaki this time. Okay? And I think, no, for your place, as I look into your geographical place, kasi tinignan ko kasi yung ano ninyo, geographical structure sa Palawan, no? You're in the southern part of Palawan, right?
Yes, sir.
No,
Yes,
southern
sir.
part of
Yes, sir.
Palawan. And then, natingnan ko yun, and
Yes,
then
sir.
as I look at it, parang this particular place really needed a lot of teachers, no? Because I think no, ang place kasi ninyo parang right after right after Brooks Point. I do not know if that is really the right name nakita kong sa map, no, hindi kasi klaro. But meron dong Brooks Point ba yun? Is that the right name?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Diba?
Tama, sir.
Yes,
Parang
sir.
yan yung parang ang malaking municipality doon nakikita ko sa mapa. That is the whole Brooks Point. Brooks Point yun lahat.
Opo, sir.
And
Sir.
then yung Bataraza it's in the other part, the lower part pa.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Diba?
sir.
So yun, natingnan ko siya, yung sabi ko nga, based on that geographical location, kasi pag yung tiningnan ko yung Brooks Point, ang labas ng Brooks Point ay parang wala na masyadong lugar, tama? Parang nakikita ko mga puno na lang, of course of the Ryutuba, no? I actually parang na ano ko talaga yung Ryutuba. Ryutuba, right? Yung mining company.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
By the time nakita ko yung sa mapa, parang na-remember ko yung Ryutuba. Kasi yung Ryutuba kasi before, no, hindi naman siguro gaanong katagalan na, pero I remember Ryutuba because that is actually one of the sikat na issue noon, the Ryutuba mining. Yeah, that is when I remember ko, okay, it's a Ryutuba. I love it, no? So, yung lugar, parang, ano na, no? Wala ng municipality or wala ng syudad. Walang syudad sa inyo banda, tama? Meron ba?
Wala po. Wala, sir.
Wala.
Wala po.
Okay, so wala
City
talaga.
prinsesa lang, sir.
So, yun yung, ha? Sino yun?
Ang city po,
Okay,
nasa
wala.
Puerto Princesa City, masyadong malayo.
Medyo malayo po
Ang
yung
layo, di
city.
ba? Di ba ang Puerto
200
Princesa
meters.
andun pa sa taas? Sa taas pa yung Puerto Princesa, tama?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ang layo pa. How many hours yan kung ano natin, kung ipibiyahe natin?
4 to 5, sir.
From Batangas to Puerto, sir, 4 hours.
Ay, nakakaloka yan. Isang sakayan yan.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Ay, my God, I love to visit Palawan.
Kung
Anyway,
matagalang biyahe po, sir.
pang matagalang biyahe talaga. Anyway, I am actually, pero meron naman akong ano dyan sa mga mataasang biyahe. Gusto ko yan. Gusto ko ng road trip talaga. Okay. Anyway, I traveled naman for, I think for a day, I actually traveled before because I had my, before kasi nandito ako sa Marawi, I stayed in Iligan City, ang babang syudad dito. Kasi nga ang daming syudad dito sa Iliga, sa somewhere in ano ba, dito banda sa Northern Mindanao. Parang paglabas mo dito isang municipality lang, then right after that municipality syudad na naman. So ang daming syudad dito, children. And then meron akong parang sideline kasi meron akong pa sideline kasi nga ito yung mga tinatawag nating mga breadwinner, mga breadwinner kumbaga, no? Sa ating pamilya. So that's why we really have to strive hard. So meron akong pa-extra before. I am actually working on a review center for teachers, no? Yung magte-take ng board exam. So kasali ako doon na nagtutuloy din ako sa review center. Ang layo, no? Actually, ang layo ng lugar. Magta-travel ako ng mga 7 hours. Ang bongga, 7 hours talaga yung biyahe. Yeah. So yung 4 to 5 hours na biyahe from your place to Puerto Princesa, ay nako, chicken na chicken yan. Okay. Sige. Sige, soon, no? Right after this pandemic, sa mga sciences major dito, okay, so may malaking chance talaga that I could visit your place because, of course, I myself, I am an advisor. Actually, advisor ako ng BS Sciences dito sa MSU Maine. So, nagtuturo ako ng mga sciences din na subject. So, probably, may chance talaga na makapunta ako dyan siguro pag maging okay itong pandemya. Okay? So, aside from that, no? So, may pa-commercial break tayo. So, again, there are 2 elements of a profession. We have competence and code of ethics. And then, by the time you will be teachers, especially yung mag-oath taking na, parang nababago yung aura natin, no? Pero talagang mababago, no? Right after na mag-oath taking nga kasi pag nalaman mo na nakapasa ka ng board exam, hindi pa yan magsisink in. Doon na magsisink in right after na mag-oath taking na, okay, I am now able to teach. Kasi nga, meron na akong lisensya, somewhat like that. Okay? The other elements of a profession are we have initial professional education. Meron tayong tinatawag na initial professional education. I think we will discuss it naman. Okay. May ano din, may option. Merong bus at meron ding van. Okay. Yeah, in a way, yung van talaga, parang ang bongga kasi mag-travel ng van kasi yung sasakyan kasi namin dito, pagbababa tsaka aakyat kami ng Marawi City ay van din, no? Bongga yung traveling, no? Yung 1 hour siguro na kung walang traffic lang, kung yung 1 hour na length of traveling magiging mga 45 minutes lang yan. Okay. Sige. Anyway, I would love to experience that one later. Okay. So we have initial professional education. Tinatawag na initial yan. Later, malalaman natin bakit tinatawag siyang initial. No? And then of course, you have the term accreditation, licensing, we have professional development, we have professional societies, and of course, hindi natin makakalimutan, tinatawag natin ng code of ethics. If we're going to look at children, no, we have initial professional education, we have the term accreditation, we have the term licensing, we have the term professional development and professional societies. Yan yung parang yung parang yan yung composition ng tinatawag nating competence. Di ba? Okay. Sa two elements natin, meron tayong term na competence. So yun yung para magpahasa sa'yo when it comes to competence. No? Hahasain ka dito. And then of course, your code of ethics will be, of course, the code of ethics. Okay? Now let's try to look at one by one, no, the other elements of a profession. So we have the first one, initial professional education. Nandiyan pa ba tayo? Okay pa ba tayo dyan?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when we say when we say initial professional education, bakit siya sinabing initial? Because you doing this one, no, kahit first year pa lang kayo, ito yung tinatawag nating initial professional education. So, generally begin their professional lives by completing a university program in their chosen fields. Right after you finish your BS Ed Sciences, your BE Ed program, this is now the time that we can say that, okay, this is what we call the initial professional education. Why initial, children? It is because during the course of completion, no, ito tinatawag nating BS Ed Sciences na program from first year to fourth year, dito natin malalaman yung mga theories, no? And for example, I am now talking about CPE 100, the teaching profession. I am now giving you the idea, no, some parts of being a teacher as a profession. Okay. So ito yung tinatawag natin initial professional education, kumbaga. Wala pang training, hindi pa gaanong training, no? Kasi nandito pa yung tinatawag natin na ano ba, tinatawag natin concepts or theories, no? Application will be later part, okay? So kaya tinawag siyang initial professional education. Let's try to look at parang merong okay, ayun. Next, number 2, klaro ba ang initial professional education? Klaro ba?
Opo.
Okay.
Yes.
Sige.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next would be accreditation. This one, ito yung naging experience namin, no, for 2 weeks, no, for almost 2 weeks talaga, no. Yung if we're going to include the other pa, mag 3 weeks good. Sorry, nagkakape ako sa ang tirik, sobrang tirik ng araw pero nagkakape ako. Anyway, hindi naman mainit dito sa Marawi. No? Nagkakape ako para naman ma-alive ako. Okay. Yung accreditation, children, I would like to share, no, when it comes to accreditation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, itong accreditation kasi, ito yung na-experience namin way back, no, yung past few weeks namin na actually, nagpapasalamat din kami kasi nga most likely itong sa Bataraza na klase ay parang na-extend pa yung enrollment ninyo, no, somewhat like that. So at least man lang merong hindi pa merong parang rason bakit hindi pa tayo naka-start sa klase. But prior to that, we had our preparations, no, na grabe yung walang masyadong tulog, kung nakakatulog ba siguro mga 2 hours lang. Yung accreditation napapaniginipan mo pa yan, no? Yung mga ganyan, no? Kasi nga you really have to work on things, no? Yung accreditation kasi, if we're going to look at the description of accreditation, university programs are approved by a regulatory body, like in the Commission on Higher Education. Of course, you're very familiar that when it comes to tertiary level, the one who is holding or the one that is regulating the processes or the system of a tertiary level ay yung tinatawag natin CHED, tama? Yung Commission on Higher Education. How about sa basic education?
DepEd, sir.
How about for basic education? Very good. Very good, no? So when it comes to basic education, especially yung K, no, nagsisimula sa K. Kasi before sa curriculum, no, sa K-12 natin, long ago, no, hindi pa na-implement yung K-12, yung curriculum ko, wala pa yung K-12, kumbaga, no? So meaning to say, yung kindergarten sa amin before, hindi siya tinatawag natin compulsory. Okay? Parang okay lang na hindi ka mag K1 at saka K2. Makakapag-grade 1 ka pa rin. But for our case, kasi ngayon, sa bagong curriculum natin sa K-12, kindergarten is now part of the system. no? Para naging isang ano na yan, isang programa na yan, isang sistema na yan na pag hindi ka nakapag kindergarten, hindi ka makakapasok ng grade 1. Okay? So sa amin before, okay lang, no? But for my case, I actually enrolled myself to daycare center, I enrolled myself to K1 and K2 kasi pa kinder 1, kinder 2 pa yan, no? So, for the basic education, K hangtod sa 12, no, dila sa grade 12 ay ano yan, kasama yun sa sistema na tinatawag nating Department of Education. So Department of Education is the one holding the regulatory or the regulation of the system, no, of the basic education, including kindergarten. Okay, so in the Philippines, to ensure that graduates from these recognized programs start their professional lives with competence. Okay, so ang ginagawa ngayon ng CHED, no, meron tayong sa secondary, if may I type, no, meron tayong tinatawag na CMO, type ko sa chat natin ha, CMO number 75, series of okay. Yeah, that is a CMO number 75, series of 2017. That is actually the PSG. Sorry. PSG for BSED. Yeah. So that is the program standards and guidelines for BSED. So itong tinatawag nating PSG na CMO, no, tinatawag CMO, CHED Memorandum Order number 75 series of 2017. Ito yung parang backbone ng ating programa ngayon, no? So for those students who enrolled in BSED Sciences, BSED English, BSED Filipino, meron tayong kurso pa din na BSED Social Studies, meron din tayong BSED Values Education, something like that. They are actually conforming to the program standards and guidelines for BSED that is based on CMO number 75 series of 2017. Rin naman for BEd, sa BEd naman, CMO number 74, series of 2017. Okay. So that is for BEd for elementary. So your basis naman is CMO number 74, series of 2017. So if you're going to search that, you will know kung ano yung structure talaga ng inyong curriculum. So by that, no, by that PSG, yan yung parang gagawin ng university, yan yung parang maging basihan ng university in their curriculum construction. No, kasi pagdating nito, no, kasi nag-K-12 na. Okay? Ang first implementation ng new curriculum natin ay 2018. Ito yung curriculum na ginamit niyo ngayon for BSED Sciences and then for BEd. Okay. Ang first implementation niyan ay noong 2018. Yung curriculum revision ay ginawa 2017. Bakit merong tinatawag na curriculum revision? Because of the CMO number 75 and then the CMO number 74. Okay? Klaro?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no? That is why we really have to conform to CMO, no? Kaning itong mga legal basis no na nanggaling sa CHED kasi nga gusto natin, no, this is to ensure, again, according to the statement, this is to ensure that graduates from these recognized programs start their professional lives with competence. No? Yan yung gusto natin makuha, yung tinatawag talaga na competence. Okay. Next. Next element we have is licensing. Okay, so this is mandatory, children. Again, this is mandatory, not voluntary, and is administered by a government authority. This government authority is what we call Professional Regulation Commission. So we're actually entitled. We are really mandated that right after na makagraduate ay mag-take ng board exam. Okay? So hindi pwedeng makapagturo sa basic education if you are really planning to pursue in the teaching profession and then you really wanted to teach na, you are not allowed to teach in the basic education without your license. Nakuha?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is why this is mandatory. This is not voluntary. And the nice thing here talaga ay uh, by the time I received my license no sa teaching, I'm so happy because of course the first thing is the first thing or the first reason why I'm happy because I am now a licensed teacher. I am now able to teach na gyud. Okay? Because that is really your ano kasi parang binibigyan ka ng power ng isang card na 'yan. Okay? Ang liit ng card na 'yan, pero parang nagbibigay yan ng power sa iyo that okay, power at saka right, no? Karapatan na that you really have to teach na you are able to teach na. And then the second thing na nakapa-happy sa akin of course is that meron akong isang valid ID. 'Di ba? Okay. Ito yung parang basihan, parang at some point basihan that you are now adulting if you now have at least one valid ID. Okay. So of course, your license is now your valid ID. So bongga na, 'di ba? And then you will be proud kasi nga by the time na papasok ka sa isang establishment, for example, na nanghihingi ng sorry, na nanghihingi ng valid ID, papakitaan mo lang 'yan. Okay, teacher ka pala. Okay. So of course, yeah, that's I think that is actually the nice thing of it, though, kasi pag pupunta kasi ako ng ano ba, nagpapadala ko ng pera, for example, sa M. Luweliel. Of course, may Palawan din dito. If you're familiar with that, yung padadala ng pera, yung Palawan. So we have it here. Yeah, di ba? Bongga. Kailangan kasi ng valid ID by the time you will claim the money. No? For example, somebody would send you money. Of course, kailangan nila ng valid ID. And then yun yung ipapakita mo. And then of course, siguro para sa kanila ang bata-bata mo pa, for example, papakita mo yun. And then they will be shocked that, okay, you're a teacher. Okay. Parang nagbabago yung parang interaction niya within the two, no? Okay. So that's the nice thing. So that is your PRC, Professional Regulation Commission. And of course, since they are the one who will be regulating when it comes to your professional ID and so on, therefore then, ito din yung government authority or government establishment that na dito din kayo mag-a-apply. No? By the time you will be taking your board exam soon. Okay. Next is what we call professional development, Professional development. Now I think this is the challenging part. Actually yung na-implement itong tinatawag nating professional development, itong konsepto ng professional development, yung first na na-implement ito or parang napaso ito sa Senate. I think there are a lot of people, there are a lot of professionals na nagrereklamo, no? Kasi nga dagdag na naman ito sa tatabahuhin ng mga professionals, no? By the way, when we say professional development, this is continuing professional development, no? That is what we call CPD. I don't know kung narinig nyo yung acronym na yan na CPD, no? Ang init-init yan sa balita before, no? So that is what we call continuing professional development. That is actually mandated by RA 10912, otherwise known as the CPD Act of 2016. Okay. Ang purpose ng continuing professional development, children, ito yung parang gagawin namin. As for my case, nakapag-renew ako ng license last year. Hindi pala, nung January pala. No? Nung January nakapag-renew ako ng license, supposedly I have to renew my license kasi ma-expire yung license niyo, 3 years kasi yan, ma-expire yan sa date ng inyong birthday, no? Or your birth date, kumbaga. So, my birthday will be on December 4. So, birthday ko ng December 4. So, pagka third year ma-expire yung license ko ng December 4. So, supposedly, I have to renew that, no? But because of the pandemic, hindi ko na-renew. So, nakapag-renew ako I think that's just 2020. At this January, this January nakapag-renew ako. And then I think for me, so far nag-excuse ako sa tinatawag na CPD. No? Kasi children, ang gagawin kasi sa CPD is you have to present certificates, no? Trainings, kumbaga. No? Kasi ang purpose ng continuing professional development, this is see to it na yung mga teachers natin, they are still continuing developing their teaching profession, kumbaga. No? Sir, ito bang tinatawag nating continuing professional development? Limited lang ba to sa teachers or para sa teachers lang po ba ito? Hindi. no? Itong CPD ay actually lahat ng mga kailangan mag-apply ng license sa lahat na magre-renew ng kanilang lisensya, kailangan magpresenta ng tinatawag nating CPD or Continuing Professional Development. Each profession, doctor, engineer, accountant, teachers, and so on, no? Meron silang equivalent din na credits na tinatawag kasi credits yung parang dapat naming ma-reach, no? So for example, meron tayong 45 credits or 45 units na training, kumbaga. Okay? So nakadepende yan kasi merong mga trainings talaga like for the teaching profession, merong mga trainings na nakasaad talaga yan sa training na itong training na ito is equivalent to 15 CPD units. Okay? So, and then, for teachers, ito yung dapat ninyong ma-reach na CPD units, kumbaga. Okay. So, the purpose of professional development children is, this is to ensure that our teachers or even the other professionals, they will not be stagnant. 'Di ba? No? Parang yung sa kanal natin, 'di ba? Pag na-stagnant yan, hindi na yan maka-flow. Therefore, we are not, no, when it comes to development kasi, pag stagnant na yung isang professional na tao, no, the one who is exercising his or her profession, pag stagnant na yan, wala na tayong gaanong ma-share. Okay? Diba yung sabi kanina, we cannot share kung anong wala tayo. Okay. By professional development, by continuing professional development, we actually develop our profession. We actually enhance pa-enhance pa natin yung profession natin so that we can give more to our clientele, no? For our case, my clientele are of course kayo. Yun yung parang basihan bakit nagawa itong tinatawag na RA 10912. Okay? Nakuha ba yung purpose ng professional development? Nakuha naman? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So yung mga trainings, no?
Yes, sir.
So yung mga teachers ninyo before sa high school and even elementary na siguro wala kayong klase kasi si teacher ay nag-attend ng training or seminar. So that is actually part of their professional development or continuing professional development. Okay. Okay, next is your professional societies. Okay, so sa professional societies children, okay, they put dedication to the public interest and commitment to moral and ethical values. Also, they define certification criteria, manage certification programs, establish accreditation standards, and define a code of ethics and disciplinary action for violations of that code. So itong tinatawag natin professional societies, ang dami nito. No? Meron tayong tinatawag na PAFTE. No? Ito yung parang organisasyon, association, or society, professional society. They're actually, this is a society for teachers. No? Meron din tayo na for biology majors na mga teachers, meron din tayong tinatawag na BIOTA. Meron PAFTE, we have BIOTA. Okay. So that is Biology Teachers Association. No? Ang dami pa. For Filipino, okay. So iba't ibang majors, nakadepende din yan. Merong major sa chemistry, if you're a chemist, sa mga teachers, meron din kayong your own professionals. Okay. So you also have your professional societies. No? Ang dami niyan, PAFTE and so on. Okay. Next is Code of Ethics. Okay. So ang Code of Ethics, each profession has a code of ethics to ensure that its practitioners behave responsibly. No? Itong Code of Ethics children, we will discuss it more later, no? Because meron din tayong topic when it comes to Code of Ethics. Dito natin malalaman, so yung mga curiosity ninyo when it comes to, sir, ito bang ginagawa ng teacher, ay tama ba ito? Sir, ito ba? So we will discuss it more when we reach the topic of Code of Ethics. So again, of course, the main reason why do we have to have Code of Ethics, this is of course to ensure that the actions of the practitioners, no, the professionals, they're also regulated na since yung mga professionals kasi natin, sila yung parang magiging role model, di ba? Yun yung parang magiging label sa atin na ay yung teachers, they are the role model of the society. Dapat yung teacher, dapat ganito yung si teacher, somewhat like that. Okay? Ang bigat ng responsibility ng teacher. Okay? Very challenging. Okay? So that is when it comes to code of ethics. Again, everyone, the elements or the other elements of profession aside from competence and code of ethics, we have initial professional education, we have accreditation, we have licensing, we have professional development, and we also have professional societies and of course code of ethics. Okay, so those are the other elements of a profession. Any questions? Any questions?
Nothing, sir.
None, sir.
Okay,
I'm
none so
sorry.
far. Okay, so I think we have to continue. I still have time. It's 11:13. Okay. Sige. Anyway, so the teaching profession is governed by the Code of Ethics for professional teachers. Violation of the Code of Ethics for professional teachers is one of the grounds for the revocation of the professional teacher certificate of registration and suspension from the practice of the teaching profession. So ito yung kung meron kayong mga narinig siguro, kung meron kayong mga stories na nalaman sa lugar ninyo, na yung kung saan yung teacher ay parang natanggalan ng lisensya, no? Kasi nga ito yung ginawa ng teacher ay of course the reason bakit natanggalan siya ng lisensya and then natanggalan siya ng right to teach is of course one of the reasons doon ay na-violate niya yung tinatawag dating Code of Ethics for professional teachers. Okay?
Yes,
Claro?
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, hopefully okay pa tayo dyan. No? Yung baka yung iba nakahiga na. Nakapikit na yung mata. Okay. Okay, sige, next. So let's try to summarize teaching as a profession. So meaning to say, teaching is a profession and it requires, of course, yung sinabi ni Princess kanina that it is actually a long process, no? So long years of initial professional education. Long years talaga kasi 4 years kayo mag-stay sa program. Okay? Next, the attainment of a college or university degree recognized by a regulatory body or CHED. Okay? You have to the degree, no, BS Ed Sciences or BEd, it should be attained in a university or a college that is recognized by CHED. So, like for example, you are enrolled in MSU Palawan, no, that is nice. That is actually regulated by CHED. Therefore, kung gagraduate kayo dito, gagraduate kayo sa kursong BS Ed Sciences, gagraduate kayo sa kursong BEd, your course is actually legit. No? Hindi siya fake, hindi fake news. Kumbaga. Okay. Number 3, a licensure examination called the licensure examination for teachers. Okay. So of course, it requires you to take the exam. Okay. And then of course, you have to pass the exam for you to get the license. And then right after makapasa, and then nagtuturo ka, you have to of course indulge yourself to continuing professional development. Okay. Kaya nga medyo difficult ito and then challenging sa mga tao na nakapasa sila ng board exam pero hindi ginamit yung teaching profession. So yung iba ano ba? Yung iba nagsusundalo for example, no? Kasi meron akong mga estudyante before sa MSU IIT na right after siguro nakapasa sila ng board exam, nagsusundalo yung mga babae. Meron akong mga estudyante mga babae na nagsundalo sila. Okay? And then magiging problema yon because children, by the time kasi na you have to renew your lisensya right after 3 years, hanapan talaga kayo ng CPD units or the continuing professional development units. So kung wala ka doon, kung wala ka niyan, hindi marirenew yung license mo. Okay? So that is why we really have to practice your profession. Adherence to the code of ethics for professional teachers. Of course, right after you take the exam, right after getting the power and then the right to teach because you have now the license, right after continuing professional development, along the way we really have to adhere to the code of ethics for professional teachers. We must not forget, children, that actually yung code of ethics naman sa mga teachers, they are actually very basic lang naman, no? We just have to make sure that we are actually doing the right thing, no? Hindi dapat magmura, no? Wag murahin yung estudyante. Corporal punishment is not allowed anymore. Hindi pwede na hindi pwede na sampalin ng estudyante. For example, kahit gaano pang galit yung nakuha mo galing sa estudyante, hindi pwedeng ano ba, meron kang chalk and then you have to throw it to your student. For example, you have your eraser and then you have to throw it sa estudyante or something like that. Okay? So, our code of ethics, they are just so basic. Ang gagawin lang talaga natin, we really just to make sure that we are doing the right thing. Okay. And then of course we have to love our job. Okay. Because if you really don't love the job, children, if you really don't love the teaching profession, you will not be productive. Okay? So that is why along the course, no, along the way sa pag-uusap natin, no, sa marami pa tayong mga topics na kailangan nating pag-usapan. So you really have to think, no, naman. You have to reflect kung gusto niyo ba talaga itong teaching profession, because by the time I will be discussing this, I will try to open your eyes, no. We will try to open your eyes and of course your heart kung pwede ba sa inyo ang tinatawag nating teaching profession. And then of course, I am actually hoping and I'm praying that you will be staying here sa education because we really need a lot of teachers para naman ma-develop and then of course, magiging progresibo yung country natin. Okay? Sige. Next would be the historical development of teaching is a profession in the Philippines. By the way, do you have any questions so far? Meron bang katanungan?
Nothing, sir.
Okay.
Wala naman.
Nothing, sir.
Okay,
Wala naman
sige.
po, sir.
Sige.
Ating
Okay.
sir.
Yung mga inaantok diyan, pakiganyan ang mga mata ninyo. I'm sure meron ng inaantok diyan. Lagyan ng something dito para hindi mag-close yung eyelids, no? So dapat nakaganyan talaga yung mata, no? Sige. Next, let's talk about the historical development of teaching as a profession in the Philippines. In a way, this is just very short, no? Para matatapos na yung presentation ko. So let's try to look at now the historical development of teaching as a profession. Kasi nga, why do we have to talk this, children? It is because yung teaching profession kasi hindi siya talaga yung kino-consider before na profession. Parang hindi siya nasali sa tinatawag natin mga professional, yung mga teachers, no? Bago lang yan na naging tinatawag natin profession yung teaching. Okay? So let's try to answer this true or false. Nakadepende lang kung ano yung masisense niyo na true or masisense niyo na false. Nakadepende yan, no? Hindi ito pa quiz, no? Let's try to look at this lang. I think we have four items ito. Okay? So are we ready, everybody?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Pwede siguro ang gagawin lang siguro natin sa mga estudyante diyan, no? Na makapag-type sa chat, you can just type your answer whether true or false. Yung iba naman, you just have to unmute yourself and then just answer in chorus, no, if it is true or false. Okay? So let's have number 1. Okay, number 1.
He was considered a professional.
So as early
False.
as early as the
False.
Spanish period, teaching was considered a profession.
False.
The answer
False,
is
sir.
False.
okay. Very good.
False po.
False.
So according to Jera, false, Brian Joy, false. According to Mototo, false also, Jewel, false, and then of course responded false. The correct answer for number 1 is false.
False.
Yeah, the answer is false, no? So as early as the Spanish period, teaching was considered a profession? No. False. Next, number 2. It was the Americans who elevated teaching in the Philippines as a profession.
True?
Trolls.
True, sir. True, sir.
True, sir.
True, sir.
May mga
True, sir.
pagbabago sa sagot. Okay, may nag-true, may
True
nag-false.
lang, sir.
Okay.
I think it's true.
Okay. The answer for number 2 is,
True.
of course, tama kayo. The answer is false. Yeah, the
Yes,
answer
sir.
for number 2 is false. Yeah. In a way, we will know later ha, bakit false yung sagot. Okay. So again, number 2 is false. Number 3, teaching was elevated to a profession only in 1994 with the passage of RA 7836.
Hirap.
False.
Ang hirap na number
True,
3
sir.
nito. History talaga
True,
ito.
sir.
Then, number 3 is true daw.
Trolls, sir.
May
Trolls.
nag,
True,
okay, may
sir.
nagtutrue na, no? Parang
Trolls.
parang technical na kasi ito, no? Naka 1994 na may pa-RA pa. Most likely true talaga ito, no? And because the answer really is,
True.
the answer is false.
Yes, sir. True ka, sir. True. True ka, sir, na false.
True na false yung sagot. Diba?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
True ka, sir.
Okay, for number 3, the answer is false. Okay. Sige. Parang wala namang true dito. Ano ba yan? Number 4. There is no other legal document. By the way, you have to
False,
pronounce,
sir.
yeah,
False.
you have to pronounce that as legal, ha? So there is
False.
no other. Grabe
False.
na talaga, false talaga yung answer. Okay. Parang wala na talaga pag-asa na may true sa sagot.
True na lang sa akin, sir.
True, sir.
Okay. Wow, tawang-tawa. May patrols talaga.
True.
Trolls daw, according to Christian. Okay. So, the answer for number 4 is, of course, false pa din.
False.
Yeah, okay. So, according to here, all the true false items above are false. Okay. In a way, we will be discussing it, bakit false yung sagot. Okay. Sige, pa-mute lang ako ng microphones ninyo, children. Ayan. Okay, pa-mute ako ng microphones. Okay. Yeah, so the answers for 1 to 4, they're actually false, no? Since we actually have limited time, we have 6 minutes left na. So our discussion for this, we'll continue the discussion next meeting. Okay? Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
So we will know later talaga kung tama ba yung mga pinagsasabi ko na false lahat yung sagot. Okay? Sige. So we will end the session up to here, children. Okay? Yan. So we will end the session here, and then for the next meeting, we will jump off to the next part, which is the historical development of teaching as a profession in the Philippines. Okay, so we will know later why. At next meeting, we will know next meeting
Yes,
why
sir.
our answers are false. No, for the 4 items that we had. No, okay. Sige. Do you have any questions? Meron bang gusto mag-share? Or meron bang mga katanungan?
Nothing, sir.
Sige, nothing. Okay.
Thanks,
So
sir.
hopefully we actually have a lot of
Thanks,
talks here. Okay. We have a lot of talks here, and I hope na meron tayong nakuha kahit kakarampot, no, sa mga nasabi ko or na-discuss ko. Okay?
Meron naman, sir.
Okay.
sir.
Sige. Anyway, if you don't have any questions, perhaps I think you have to open your camera for a photo op.
Oh my God.
Grabe naman yung pag-open talaga ng camera, nakaganyan na. Oh. Isara naman yung isara muna yung bibig, no? Yung iba talaga parang naka-ready na nakaganyan. Okay, so put your smile, everybody. Okay. So these are the people coming from Palawan, no? Fresh from Palawan, yeah. Okay. Everybody, please open your camera and let's try to take a picture. I'm sorry, I think we have problems on internet connectivity, and there are a lot of here na hindi pa naka-open ng camera, no? Siguro naka-open na kayo ng camera pero hindi ko nakikita dito because of my internet connectivity. Anyway, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Sige. If you don't have any questions, I think I have to stop now the recording. The recording will be uploaded to or will be posted sa Google Classroom natin para pwede